Did you miss me? I know you did. That's why I'm back with another edition of Mark's Just Saying. But as you might be able to tell from the Batman hat and shirt, even though it's the wrong logo, but they don't make it out for big dudes yet, I'm here with an edition of Mark's Just Watching as I review and post my initial reaction to The Batman that came out last Friday, and along with my spoilers and just initial thoughts and overall thoughts, I should say, on the movie itself. So stay tuned. I'm going to post the initial reaction from when I saw it at the fan event last Tuesday night. Loved it. And then again when I saw it, and then how I just feel about everything with the overall movie. Not holding back spoilers, but so if you want to hear my thoughts on both, please stay tuned, and I'll talk to you soon. Don't go anywhere. Stay on this bad channel. Peace. Hey! Did you miss me? Getting ready to see the Batman fan event a couple days before the wide release here in the States as we enter. So far, theater's pretty empty, which is good because I want to get some yum-yums. But I just want to check in, say hello. I missed you. Like my Batman hat, some ringy. I got it all, baby. But anyway, I'm gonna pull up, get something to eat, and I'll check in later. But I just want to say hi. Hey, talk to y'all soon. Peace. Love the thing. Hey, Bat fans! It's me. I'm back, just fresh off seeing the movie, The Batman. Can't really see the emblem there, but a little bit. Just catching my initial reaction. I'm gonna see it again to really take it all in, but this could be, as of right now, my favorite live-action depiction, which includes Over the Dark Knight. Not that I don't enjoy The Dark Knight, different type of movie. But as far as the director Matt Reeves and his vision and capturing the mythos of Batman, wow. And Michael Giacchino's score of the movie, especially the Riddler's theme, Robert Pattinson as Batman, and just the entire story and the entire cast was just perfection. I was gripped the whole time. It was a great detective story. The way it ties the entire cast together is not really spoiling anything. The movie is called The Batman, and finally you get a movie that features a lot of a Batman, which I was very happy with. But I cannot wait for a sequel, the inevitable sequel. Based, and there's the popularity of this movie, there has to be one. This definitely. Matt Reeves has already gone on record saying the depictions he'd like, especially Mr. Freeze in this world. But well done, Zoey Kravitz, Paul Dano, Jeffrey Wright, just especially Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Finally, a depiction based on the comics and not a Tim Burton creation that grew up in the frickin' sewers. Well done. So I'll do a more detailed take on it later after I see it again in a couple of days and talk more spoiler-esque. But wow, holy batballs, Batman. I loved this movie. Phenomenal. Well done, Pattinson as Batman. I as soon as he was cast, I didn't give him any shades of doubt. I learned that on fan casting a long time ago. And well done. Matt Reeves knew what he was doing with this, and I can't wait to see what he does going forward. So, stay frosty, Bat fans, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace! Hey! Welcome back. I'm assuming if you're still here, you want to hear me. If not, maybe it's just background noise, but that's okay. Because I'm here to share my thoughts now that the movie's been released, people have had time to see it, and you want to hear what the big guy has to think about Robert Pattinson's The Batman. So what do I have to say? Holy Twilight, Batman! Was he awesome? This has to be, it's got to be, it probably is. I mean, I've had hard time comparing it to The Dark Knight, but this is probably my favorite Batman live action film to date. Now, that's not saying all the characters are number one, but as far as the actual Batman story, the detective mode, the characters, how Matt Reeves, the director, was able to go into a wide range of different Batman stories and then weave all the characters together. Awesomeness. Fantastic. I'm just going to say the casting of Robert Pattinson, as I previously mentioned, his biggest role to date was Twilight prior to this. And of course, fanboys are going to react the way they have. I heard about it, but I've also learned from past reactions, either through stuff my wife has watched or stuff that I've watched. And I remember all the way back to when Keaton was cast as a kid, when I was a kid, and all the reactions that he got. And he's now one of the favorites. Pattinson nailed it as Batman. His Bruce Wayne needs work, but I also know that was story driven because he was in a dark place. It was year 2. To compare year 2 of Dark Knight, he had already retired. So this is definitely a different feel for Batman. I loved it. I loved the Batman story. I loved the casting of Pattinson, who just, I cannot wait to see what he does with the character. Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, how those two interacted. Probably the best interaction to date as far as the two of them working together. The faith that he has, that not Commissioner yet, Captain Gordon has in Batman, even though he specifically says he doesn't know who he is. Just well done. Zoey Kravitz as Catwoman. Maybe, I don't think she's my favorite. I still think that's Anne Hathaway. But I think her and the chemistry she had with Batman, wow. Paul Dano as the Riddler, well done. How they tie his story into the Wayne family. And even with the Wayne family incorporated elements of the Hush story with the announcement of the Elliott family. And even writing down Hush on the screen. I lost it in the theater. I did. As a Batman, I love the Hush story. I know Riddler was integral into that, especially with the animated feature that they did and how he was Hush. I wasn't crazy about that. I really hope they introduced Thomas Elliott as Hush. So we'll see where they go with that. But just the little crumbs that they dropped. And then, of course, my favorite, and I can't wait to see what he does with the HBO Max show, was Colin Farrell as Ozzy, or the Penguin. Every scene he was in, I mean, he escaped into the role, not just with the makeup, but he made that role his. And it was great to see finally a comic depiction of the mobster life, not just a freak that lives in the sewers. Even though Danny DeVito, I liked him, that was just Tim Burton using the Penguin character. This was definitely the best depiction of the Penguin on film, and I can't wait to see where he goes with that. The way Matt Wright, the director, tied in all the long Halloween aspects with Hush aspects, made this a year 2 story. His depiction of Gotham City was beautiful. Loved it. It was a part of the story, the shadows, and how the opening scene when how already in year 2 they flashed the bat signal, and you could see how scared everyone is. Is he in the shadows, Batman? And then finally when he shows up and just Batman, which also he was in the costume and he was Batman like 90% of the film, and even when he was Bruce Wayne, he was still Batman. There really wasn't a change in his character, but of course he was colder. Not to mention, I'm sorry, the casting of Alfred, loved him. He wasn't shown enough, but I almost lost it when I thought that they killed him off with that bomb, but that was just how great the story was and how you get captured in what's going on the screen. So yeah, and of course the Batmobile, the new Batmobile. The minute it showed up on screen and started revving those engines, I went nuts, the audience went nuts, and it was a badass Batmobile, and I can't wait to see it again. I hope they don't go the Nolan route and turn it into a bat cycle and you don't see it again. I really hope they keep it like Burton did with the Batmobile and Batman Returns, because you need that Batmobile. Change the suit if you want, which am I the only one that had Arkham Origins elements or thoughts to that bat suit, which I love that suit, but it just kind of had that feel to it to me, and I like that. So I can't wait to see where this goes. Oh yes, and I cannot, well, I'll say this for a second. I cannot wait to see where this goes. Matt Reeves has already talked about, which I think I messed up his name before. I did, so I apologize for that. I'm just so excited talking about the Batman. But he's already talked about future castings, how he'd like to see either the Court of Owls, Mr. Freeze, and he even recently said Hush, Thomas Elliott. So we'll see. But I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my favorite 3 and least favorite favorites and least favorites. So here we go. So the things that I just went nuts about was the overall movie and Pattinson as Batman, of course. And then the second thing was, now some people have been hit or miss about this showing up at the end, but I loved the depiction of Arkham Asylum, which is tied in with Bruce's mother's history. But how Riddler's still alive, storing the villains in there, and who's already there, which is the unnamed Arkham patient, but as Batman fans will know, it's the Joker talking to the Riddler. I loved it. I can't wait. I personally hope he doesn't show up in the sequel. Now I know that they announced that they're supposed to do an Arkham series, and if they explore his story in there, fine. But if not, I would love to wait for maybe the 3rd chapter, introduce a few more villains, and then just let them go nuts in the 3rd. Especially since, as you know, the Riddler flooded Gotham. Now it's really a depiction. It could end up being a no man's land. They called in the National Guard, I mean. So Gotham is definitely in a rough place. You put in one more movie with some more villains and then just let things go crazy in the 3rd. I would love that. So I hope they hold off on bringing the Joker as the main villain until the 3rd one, but if not, I'll still love it either way, I'm sure. But that's just my hope, just because Catwoman, as you know, wrote off, so she'll probably skip the next movie to introduce more characters. Penguin has to come back. So yeah, I absolutely loved that. Was I not crazy about anything? The depiction of Bruce Wayne, but then again, that was story driven. How cold he was with Alfred until he was in the hospital and finally held his hand. That was heartwarming. And then people complain about the runtime. I had no issues with it. I was sad when I checked my watch and I realized there was only an hour left. Like, I got so immersed into the story, I wanted to see more. And I can't wait for more. Hope it's not 3 years, maybe just 2. Definitely fast track the sequels and keep those going. As a Bat fan, I know we have 2 more Batman coming up with Affleck and Keaton, but I can't wait to see more of what Pattinson does with this Batman story. So there you have it. I know I said so a lot, but I just been thinking about the movie and what to say. But again, just fantastic. I can't wait. I'll see this, even though it's 3 hours, I'll see it over and over. Oh, the one other thing I did love, I wanted to make mention. I mentioned the score in my initial reaction. The Riddler's theme. I came home that night, the soundtrack. Oh, how haunting that was, especially when Riddler first showed up in the house, and all you see is got like a horror element. Well shot, well done, and I loved the thumb drive joke. Not really a joke since they really made it real, but they added little elements of humor, sick humor, but I loved it. And how Batman was able to be a detective throughout the entire thing. The best depiction of that on screen to date. So again, how do I rate this? I mean, it's 5 out of 5 for me, 10 out of 10, however you want to rate, whatever ranking system you want to use, I give it tops. Best Batman story. See it again. Take me if you want to go. We'll talk about it after. As long as you buy my ticket in, I'll buy you a small Coke and a small popcorn, because I'm here for you. Maybe even a candy. But yeah, I'd love to see it again, so I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Please tell me how you feel in the comments. You get to see it? Did you not like it? Talk to me. So with that, that's all I've got about the Batman. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please like, subscribe to my channel. And until next time, this is Mark's Just Been Saying, aka Watching. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Stay frosty. Peace.